Asked Deputy Dominic Hannigan. Deputy, you also have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Corla. I welcome the opportunity to speak today, and I know the opposition is making a lot of hay, such as Micheál Martin yesterday, saying that we're spending too much time on this. But it is important that we take the time to talk about where we've come from in the last 3 years and where we're going in the next 2. These statements that we're making are about our priorities for the years ahead. It's not about slapping ourselves in the back and saying that we've done a good job, because the job is not even half finished at the moment. And the coalition has been working together now for 3 years. I remember before the election in February, what it was like knocking on doors around the country. Certainly there was a level of anger out there that I'd never seen before when I was canvassing. Sometimes it didn't matter what party you were from, as far as the people were concerned. They wanted to let off steam, they were angry, and any canvasser was fair game. And that was completely understandable. The country had been left in a terrible state by Fianna Fáil and their supporters on the opposition benches now. But 3 years later, things have moved on. I've been out canvassing in my own county of Meath recently, this time for the local elections. People are still angry, but it's not like it was 3 years ago. There's been a change. People are allowing themselves to be a little bit more optimistic about the future, and we need to continue to build on this optimism. The decisions that the government have taken, often under intense political pressure, as many of us know, they are making a difference, and the results of the tough decisions that we've made include, for instance, the fact that unemployment has come down from a figure of 15% that we experienced when Fianna Fáil left government to just 12% today. Still too much, but going in the right trajectory. We've created 1,200 jobs a week for the past number of months. No longer are we losing jobs. The economy is growing, not receding like it was before, and of course there has been a significant increase in the numbers of tourists coming to our country, and in the process generating jobs in the hospitality industry. So there are some signs that things are improving, but it would be foolish to believe that we've done enough. We haven't done enough. We've still got a lot of work left to do to make sure that Ireland never has to go begging and borrowing our way around the world again. And people need to know what we plan to do for the next 2 years of this government, so that they can feel confident that this recovery is going to last. They need to trust that jobs and opportunities are going to be created. For me, stability is the key to a real recovery. If a business in Ratoath or Duleek is thinking about taking on more staff or expanding their business, they need to know if people will have the extra income in their pockets to spend in those businesses. So we need to be clear about what we can do to help take the pressure off the squeezed middle, the hard-pressed families. But this isn't the only way. Government spending on local projects can help to create extra income in the community. I believe that if people see money going into things like capital projects, then they'll believe that we're serious when we say we want the recovery to happen. For instance, if we're putting money into new social housing schemes, and my colleagues, Deputy Dowds and Deputy Ferris, mentioned the need for new social housing. It doesn't only benefit the families who currently are without houses, it also means that we're providing employment in the construction sector, which, as you know, needs it very well. We didn't just get elected to deliver on a social, on a economic programme. We also have a social reform agenda as well. And this spans from education to children's rights to industrial relations. For instance, right now in Ireland, we've got more children in schools than we've had at any stage in our history. So we do need to build new schools. In my own county of Meath, we're building new schools in Ashbourne, in Kells, in Duleek and Ratoath to deal with the increase of children coming into the educational system. But we also have to make sure that every child has the same right to access these schools as any other. So let's get the education bill passed so everybody has the same access to education. It shouldn't be about where your brother or sister went to school or about what religion you are that allows you to get into the local school. We have a commitment to the programme for government to bring in collective bargaining. I think it's time that we saw that brought in, because it's a right and it shouldn't be a privilege. So we need to introduce legislation as soon as possible. We still have 2 years, Alaska, to make a difference, to make sure that the recovery is sustainable. I think we need to make sure that we redouble our efforts to focus on jobs, to focus on the economy, but not also to forget the social reform programme that is important that we introduce.
Thank you, Deputy.